Tyson Fury was with Mick Hennessy for the majority of his career. He was with Mick Hennessy. And I remember this really, romantic story that Mick Hennessy and Tyson Fury both used to tell about how they met each other, early on in Tyson's career when he was coming out the amateurs. They met each other and Tyson told him, I've started my career with you, Mick, and I'm going to finish my career with you. And they were all lovey-dovey in the press, and Mick Hennessy was waxing lyrical about how great a person Tyson Fury was and how loyal he is, and Tyson Fury doing the same about Mick Hennessy. But here we are in 2019, and according to multiple media sources in the UK, Mick Hennessy is potentially going to file a complaint with the British Board of Boxing Control against Tyson Fury for, I guess, money he feels like he's owed. It says here that Hennessy, who missed out on the windfall from promoting one of the biggest names in boxing on his return to the sport, so he's expected to complain about that. I guess he feels like he has some kind of legal entitlement to some of the proceeds of the Deontay Wilder fight. Who knows? But yeah, a lot of people at the time who were Fury fanatics were saying how Hennessy's great and Fury's loyal to Hennessy and Hennessy's loyal to Fury. I never bought any of that. I never bought it because when you've been following boxing for long enough, you'll understand that friendship and business often don't mix. When there's money involved and contracts involved, people will often get upset and fall out. I mean, you just look at Carl Frampton. Another situation very similar where people felt like Frampton and the McGuigans were like family, and they used to talk as if they were family. But then they fell out and it turned into some bitter legal battle. I'm not sure if that's been resolved as yet. So, yeah, now we could potentially have Mick Hennessy trying to sue Tyson Fury. Now, I seem to remember Mick Hennessy threatening legal action against either Chris Eubank Jr. or James DeGale. I forget which one it was. But when one of those fighters left him, I seem to remember Mick Hennessy insinuating or threatening legal action. But to my knowledge, he didn't have the money to follow through on it. And I remember at the time talking in a video about it, and I said, I doubt Mick Hennessy will follow through because I don't think he has that kind of money to be getting into a legal battle with a fighter who has made, tens of millions of pounds. Well, in the case of Tyson Fury, certainly tens of millions. But even back then with a James DeGale, a person who's made a few million. Or whether it was Eubank Jr. I can't remember who it was now. But I just remember at the time thinking, yeah, Mick Hennessy don't have the money to take this guy to court and be involved in a long drawn out legal battle and win. And to my knowledge, he never went through with the legal action that he was threatening or insinuating he would launch against either DeGale or Eubank, whoever it was. Will it be the case again here with Tyson Fury? I suspect it will, but who knows? I'm no expert on law. I know quite a bit about boxing and the business of boxing and when people sue and why they sue and all this kind of business. But in terms of the legal technicalities and how much it's going to cost for Mick Hennessy to attempt to sue Tyson Fury, one thing I know is the longer a legal battle is, the more costly it becomes. I know that there is such thing as, no win, no fee and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that is going to apply to a situation like this between a promoter and one of his former fighters. I could be wrong. If there are any solicitors or lawyers in the comments section, you let me know. But my gut instinct is that Mick Hennessy doesn't have the resources to take on Tyson Fury in any meaningful way in the court. That's assuming Tyson Fury still has these millions, right? Because Tyson Fury was financially compromised during his 2.5 years out the ring because he was battling, I think, UKAD or the British Border Boxing Control or whatever it was. A lot of money was spent on all that. He claims that he was going to donate all of his purse from the Deontay Wilder fight to charity or give it to mentally unwell people. I can't remember which. So maybe I'm assuming Tyson Fury has a lot more money than he actually has. Mick Hennessy's probably got a much better idea of how much money Tyson Fury has than I do. But then again, if Tyson Fury didn't have a lot of money, would Mick Hennessy be trying to sue him or, trying to press legal action of some form or another in order to be compensated here? Would he be doing that if he knew Tyson Fury didn't have the money? Probably not. So we'll see where this goes. It's standard really in boxing. It's regular. This is how it often is. Fighters suing promoters, promoters suing fighters. It's usually promoters suing fighters rather than the other way around. But occasionally you do get fighters suing promoters. So we'll see where it goes. I tend to side with fighters in these legal situations because I just don't like the idea of fighters being held down. I know promoters, and a particular promoter like Mick Hennessy, who has been struggling for many years, somebody like him, he's probably put a hell of a lot of effort and money into Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury really was his meal ticket, because Mick Hennessy was the king of small hall shows and little cheap productions and stuff like that in leisure centers and shopping centers. That's what Mick Hennessy was the king of. And when you're that kind of promoter and a Tyson Fury comes along, you probably are going to go above and beyond to please him and to do whatever you can for him. Does he deserve to be compensated for that long term? Like I say, he can go out there and find more talent. Tyson Fury has got a small window of opportunity in which to make life-changing sums of money. Mick Hennessy isn't a particularly good promoter, which is why after all these years in boxing, he's still scratching around doing these small shows. So maybe there's going to be a bit more desperation from him than there would be from someone like an Eddie Hearn, right? Eddie Hearn is good right now. He's flying high. But with Eddie Hearn, it's a philosophical thing as well. Eddie Hearn doesn't believe in tying these fighters down to long contracts and chasing after them for money and all this kind of business. Maybe it's because Eddie Hearn was raised with money. Maybe that's why he's not so desperate to tie fighters down, because he's been living in abundance his whole life, Eddie Hearn, right? He's Silver Spoon kid. He's always had money. So he's not really afraid of, chasing fighters down for every penny he thinks they owed him. Whereas a guy like Mick Hennessy comes from a much more modest background and he's got a much more modest business. Even Frank Warren, to be fair. Frank Warren comes from a very, working class background where growing up he really didn't have much. So maybe his attitude is a little more uncompromising when it comes to dealing with fighters than a rich kid like Eddie Hearn, who's a bit more easy come, easy go. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this situation with Mick Hennessy potentially, at least considering, exploring the possibility of taking legal action against his former fighter Tyson Fury. If you have any more information on this, and particularly if you are any kind of solicitor or lawyer or you've got a law degree, I'd like to hear from you in terms of what you know about this situation and how good Mick Hennessy's chances are of getting anything out of it by way of, payment. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, people. It's happening, I'm out.
Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.